Have you struggled for a long time with GI issues such as diarrhea, constipation, or stomach pain and been told that maybe gluten is your problem? Have you then gone on to eliminate gluten and received no benefit from that? Did you then reintroduce gluten because you said, hey, it's not gluten, I noticed no benefit, I didn't feel any better by avoiding gluten? Well, I'm here today to tell you that you may still be affected by gluten, but it's a deeper gluten issue that's impacting you. Let's dig in. I'm Dr. John Bartemus, and I'm putting the pieces together to help you live a life at optimal. If you've avoided gluten, and avoiding gluten means strictly avoided gluten for at least 8 weeks. If you've done that, which many people who say, hey, I tried avoiding it and noticed no difference, so I started eating it again, many times those people avoided it for only a couple weeks, and if they did that, many of them didn't avoid it completely. So I'm speaking to the people who have thoroughly, completely avoided it for 8 weeks and noticed no improvement in their issue. If you've met that threshold, this video is for you. If you haven't met that threshold, then you need to go back and completely avoid gluten strictly for 8 weeks before you can make a determination. If you're someone who has avoided it for 8+ weeks and noticed no benefit, then what we need to ask next is, are you impacted by gluten cross-reactive foods? Meaning, many people who avoid gluten eat gluten-free. Well, many of the gluten-free substitute foods are gluten cross-reactors, meaning that they share some sequence homology in their amino acid sequences that to the immune system can still look like gluten. So they're cross-reactive, meaning you didn't actually eat gluten, but the gluten cross-reactive food you ate caused the immune system to react as if you did eat gluten. So therefore, immunologically, even though for 8 weeks you avoided gluten, eating a gluten cross-reactor triggered the immune system during that 8 weeks, so the immune system didn't calm down like you would expect it to because it was still seeing gluten. Make sense? So for those people, you have to not only eliminate gluten, you also have to eliminate the gluten cross-reactor foods to potentially realize benefit in your symptomatology and in your case. So what are those foods? There's multiple, and I have a mnemonic for you called My Chords to help you remember them. So the M stands for millet, the Y for yeast, the C for coffee, and instant coffee is worse. Corn is the second C. Oats, even gluten-free oats in America often are gluten cross-reacted or made in a facility where gluten is present. R is rice. D stands for dairy. So dairy and gluten are highly cross-reactive. And then S for sesame. So my chords. So if you had avoided the gluten for 8 weeks strictly, but were still eating any or all of these, and you therefore didn't feel better, there's potential that one or more of these to your physiology is cross-reactive and your immune system is seeing them as gluten. So the next step for you would be to eliminate gluten and in addition eliminate all of these for a minimum of 8 weeks and observe, does your symptomatology improve, whether that's GI symptomatology, inflammatory symptomatology, neurologic brain fog symptomatology. It could be global, so you want to assess your current health challenges and attempt these avoidances or eliminations and see how they impact your case. If they improve your case, then you know that you're having an immune reaction to a gluten and or gluten cross-reactor, and you should work with a practitioner to help you understand how far off course is your immune system and how can you optimize that to not only impact your current health challenge, but also things that you may or may not know are present.